Welcome. It's a peaceful Sunday morning as I am recording this, our latest installment in the Bhagavad Gita Sadhana. And here in Cleveland, it is the time when the daylight gets shorter and the dark gets longer. And that's what we're talking about today with our topic of Samatvam in the Bhagavad Gita. That is, knowing yourself and being able to be yourself through the apparent ups and downs of life. And we're doing this through the Bhagavad Gita. And in one part of the Gita, Krishna says that all living beings, including humans, are essentially chained to the opposites from the moment of their embodiment. And in humans, we can see this, and in many other mammals, we can see this represented, for example, as our body wanting to maintain homeostasis through the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, the nervous systems that encourage you to rest and digest, and then the nervous system that focuses on fight, flight, or freezing. Not freezing cold, but like the hammer's on. So as humans, we oscillate between the dominance of these two systems. Yoga says this is represented by the fact that if you pay attention or if you have a cold, the flow in the nostrils alternates pretty regularly through the day. Like for a while, your left nostril will be more open, and then the right nostril will be more open. And then there's this little period of time when you switch where they're both balanced. And for us, I've seen, people writing that this cycle takes like 90 minutes to maybe a couple hours, depending on the person. Some of us are really stuck in one mode. My right nostril is open so much of the time. And when I try to sleep, that makes for a real sleep killer. I can tell when I'm having a hard time sleeping because my right nostril is dominant. And sometimes if you have a deviated septum, one psychiatrist wrote that he found that one of his patients had a septum deviated so his left nostril was always open, and that patient had chronic depression that was remedied when the deviated septum was fixed. So, interesting stuff. We go through these cycles several times a day. And so we can become more reactive than other beings that go through these cycles. Just think of how often in the day you might vacillate between things are going well and things are going poo. Things make you want to fight and things make you want to relax. Okay. So one of the things that Krishna encourages Arjun to do, because Arjun is in one of those stages, like relax, Arjun, right? And how well does that ever work to tell somebody, just relax, okay? Krishna is trying to put things in perspective for Arjun and for all of us as humans, because we really tend to take a lot of our stuff too seriously, our own personal stuff. As anybody who's ever had a teenager or been a teenager knows, boy, in those teenager years, those adolescent times, everything can be life or death. They hate me today. Oh, they love me. Or I have a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. I have a girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. I have a non-binary friend. I don't have a, it's just. And one of the things I heard of as a teenager, and you may have too, or you might have said this to any children, is just wait. I promise you it's going to be better. I know it seems like a huge crisis in this moment, but just wait a few moments. And this is what Krishna, the spiritual advisor, is doing for his best friend and person in spiritual crisis, Arjun. So here in chapter 8, verse 17, chapter 8 is about death, by the way, living and dying, two opposites of our apparent existence. Krishna tries to help Arjun get a perspective. He says, and I'll be chanting from one of the Song of Your Soul books, if you have those, the Poetic Translation, chapter 8, verse 17. 1,000 ages is the length of God's day, and 1,000 more make his night. Those people who know this truly know both day and night. So this is a great verse if you look at the Sanskrit to get this whole idea of cosmology from an Eastern standpoint of just how long this cosmos has been around, and the fact that this cosmos isn't even the only one. Cosmos comes into existence, the cosmos has its day, and then its night, and then another day, and another night. Our problems, no matter how profound they seem, and please know, as an embodied human, I understand how profound problems can seem. If you look at a more cosmic scheme, so even now, we humans, we go through these cycles several times a day, but the earth goes through this cycle once a year. You can really see that if you're living in any of the polar regions, how it's like one big day takes a year, and then you have a long night. All right. So in the cosmic sense, our existence is just this tiny, tiny millisecond. How can we take the longer view? Maybe we can't take the view of how my life relates to the whole existence of the universe, whether you think it's billions of years old or a few thousand. Or maybe just a longer term view in general. What I'm going through now, how does this affect? Yes, it affects me today, but how does it affect me through the month, through the half year, through the year, through the decade? Okay. Especially as we approach the equilux or the equinox, depending on how you like to frame it. I have a cat that is complaining. Can you hear him? Because for him, me being outside for a few seconds where he can't reach me is just the height of agony. Sorry, bud. Take a longer view. I'll be in just a few. Today's practice, I'll tell you about who it's dedicated to after our practice. Shall we? Let's start with right and left for just a couple of minutes in our balance pose. Hey, come on. Let's switch sides. All righty. How was that? Let's have our 5 minutes of contemplation. And I encourage you today to reflect on if you can look at the overall grand scheme of your life and recognize those ups and downs. And maybe if you're feeling bold, try to place all that in the life of the universe, your life compared to the life of the cosmos as you understand it. 5 minutes. Welcome back. Woo! I'm a bright light as the sun continues through its cosmic journey. I wonder how that went for you. You're always welcome to share, and I do appreciate those of you who do. Speaking of day and night, today, fellow Clevelanders, please enjoy, but tonight, rip currents, small craft warning. So night will be dangerous. Enjoy the day. And next week, if you are in town, we have that free movement event coming up in the community. Please see the link below for details. Today's practice is dedicated to, oh my gosh, I've been watching the Paralympics. And I'm dedicating today's practice to Gabriel, Araujo, Matt Stutzman, and Sheetal, Devi. I've watched, Araujo is a swimmer. He's a backstroker. He has no arms. He is incredible. And the archers, Matt and Sheetal, Devi, they have no arms. And it's flippin' amazing. You know, we think Arjun's the best archer ever. Well, Arjun had his arms. To see these people, it really, they're putting their stuff in perspective, man. Things that would make many of us crumble, they're just like, I'm dealing with it, and I'm building off it. I'm making it something positive and inspiring. May you be able to do that. All right, officially over. Please go ahead and do whatever, but I'm just bringing, if you want bonus time, come here, buddy. I'm going to bring Oliver out because we're talking about the length and cycles. You know, his life is so much shorter than mine. I forget that a few minutes to him can feel much longer, and he has some suffering. So we'll just give him a little. Come here. Does this help ease your suffering? He's talking. Say bye-bye to all the people. And you have to say the magic words. We'd love to see you again. Until then, yeah, that's my guy. Ah, yeah, bite's good. Ah.